Watsies. That was a little teaser there. You didn't think I'd go that long, did you? We were doing that. So we're back in this Hassle Castle, but that was the teaser there. Yeah, that's usually the longest. That's the longest intro we've ever had in there. But really, I was struggling to get the Facebook Live up and going.
Is it Facebook Live or Facebook Live?
First, Facebook Live.
Okay.
Facebook Live? Live. Live.
How you spell?
Yeah, same thing. Jimmy Siokas in studio with me. Adrian got a day off, and he wanted to go up to Iowa City. And I said, go to Iowa City. You don't have to come in here. Just go ahead. We got things we can talk about. Jimmy and I could talk for hours. We're good.
But I do want to say, if you're out there, Adrian, you can hear me. I want to say, yo, Adrian.
Yo, Adrian. All right. So Jimmy Siokas in studio is in here yesterday as well. Jimmy, you're a high school teacher and athlete growing up around here. Where did you go to high school at around here?
I went to Davenport West.
Davenport West. What year did you graduate? Not to date you or anything.
Oh, gosh, I love it. I'm proud.
Okay.
1990.
1990.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, and then you played ball where?
After high school, I played 2 years at Garden City Community College, which is in the southwestern tip of Kansas, Garden City, Kansas. Mm-hmm. Played 2 years there, and then I went to Fort Hays State University, which is also in Kansas, which is Division II. Had 4 fantastic years of college baseball. It was so much fun. Then came back here, and I did play a couple years for a team called the Muscatine Red Sox. I think they're still a team.
Okay.
It's in that adult baseball league. Then I had some friends who wanted me to try slow pitch. I said, I'll try it, and I played for about maybe 1.5 summers, and it didn't fill the void until your dad told me, hey, there's a tournament. I want to take you guys to go play this.
Where did he find you at anyway?
At the dugout.
Really?
Yeah, because there's a bunch of us newbies. Now, at that time, we were 26 years old, which isn't young, but your dad always tried. It was almost like he had these electro paddles on the fast pitch league around here. He just was always trying to jumpstart it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
He came out there to recruit, and we went and played one tournament. There was about 10 of us, and I was the only one. No, Scott Lange. Remember Scooter?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We were the only two that just really said, this is it. This is fun. So for the next 15 years, until I was 44, 45 years old, I played fast pitch softball.
Oh. Well, there you go.
Which I just adored.
Yeah, that sounds about right. My father would do that quite a bit. What are you doing? We need people to play. Come play this game. Try it out. And always trying to get people to go out there. Oh, that's awesome. So, and then that's how you and I met, was obviously through my father. And I just remember I was up at Cedar Falls coming back from college playing. He's like, oh, you got to play ball with this Jimmy Siokas guy. He's a character. You're going to love him. So that's about it. Usually I'm like, whatever, Dad. I'm a character, and I met you, and now you're a character. So, been a good ride that we've had as friends and everything. But we got sports to talk about this morning, bright and early. Team USA had a gold medal softball game against Japan, fresh off their walk off from Sunday night, and it didn't. The final score wasn't the same.
Was it 2-0 final?
2-0. Really, though, the one threat that the United States had was in the first inning, and
leadoff triple.
Huh?
Was it the leadoff triple?
Yeah, and then she ended up getting thrown. Then she ended up. And then she got distracted there, and then she ended up getting thrown out at home. So that was the problem there. I did reach out to friend of the show, Trent Rubley, played softball. Said, what are your thoughts on Team USA?
Also a West High graduate.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And then I said, what are your thoughts on Team USA? And basically what I said, the text was, what are your thoughts on the loss, so I can sound smart on the air, but I'm going to give him credit. I'm not going to plagiarize him. So he said, good pitching beats good hitting. Trent went on to say that he played with Coach Kenny Erickson on Team USA in 91 in Santiago, Cuba, in the Pan Am Games. They won silver. Packed house versus Cuba semifinals. We lost in the finals versus Canada, and it was a wild atmosphere. The Japan pitcher holds the record for 75 miles an hour. Fastest a girl has ever thrown. 75 miles an hour she threw.
The one that pitched this morning. Now, I have a quick question for you. My wife, who's a big, big fast pitch player, she was All-American in high school and college. She lives for that stuff. So we got up, just like you said, 6 o'clock, game started. We downloaded that NBC News app, or sports app, like you said, and we started watching it. Now, we live in a unique situation. We don't watch a lot of TV, so we don't pay a dime for regular TV channels. We have a little digital antenna. We get about 10 channels. After about 20, 30 minutes, that news app cut out and we couldn't watch anymore. So we pull out her phone and we download it, and we get another free 20, 30 minutes. So they tease you unless you can sign in with Mediacom or whatever we don't have. And then we figured out that after her 20, 30 minutes was up, what do we do? Well, we uninstalled both of our downloads, and then we reinstalled them. We get another 20, 30 minutes. So we had to go the whole game downloading, reinstalling. But we watched it, got some McDonald's for breakfast. And I told her in the very first inning, when that girl hit that leadoff triple, by the way, she was from the home plate to third like that.
Yeah.
I mean, she was blistering fast. Yes. And I said, you have to suicide squeeze.
That's a good idea.
You have to. And she said, no, you don't want to jeopardize that run. Well, there was another opportunity in the middle of the game where they got somebody on third base as well. I can't remember what inning it was. I said, there's less than 2 outs. You got to suicide squeeze. If they would have done 2 suicide squeeze bunts, might have tied the ball game up. Now, what's your opinion on this? I think that's the most exciting play in either baseball or fast pitch softball.
Oh, yeah.
Suicide squeeze bunt.
100%.
Now, is that big pitcher? That pitcher for Japan looked pretty tall. I know Kat Osterman is about 6'2", I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is that pitcher from Japan who Trent said she was throwing 75?
Throwing 75.
Was she the same pitcher that pitched the day before in the walk-off game?
No.
That was a different pitcher.
It was a different pitcher, yeah.
This was their ace.
Yeah.
75 miles per hour underhand from 43 feet. In all the years,
that's quick.
In all the years I played fast pitch softball in the World Series, when you see these big boys throw, they had radar guns on them. The fastest I ever saw a single ball thrown underhand was 83.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not that much quicker than 75. So this Japanese girl, I don't know, they need to test her, I think.
What'd you say?
They need to test her, PEDs.
Yeah, there you go.
Because she's a big girl.
Yes, she is. Well, in other Olympic news, let's see, on Sunday night, we saw Katie Ledecky lose in the 400 freestyle. Then she came back later on that evening and won her heats in the 700, the 600 meter, the 200 meter freestyle and the 1500 meter freestyle heat. And so on Monday, she swam. I mean, this girl is a machine. Again, the number, I think it goes now trending on Twitter is basketball for Olympics, basketball, gymnastics, and swimming. So, but it really goes, the most watched, according to a poll of Americans going into Olympics, was gymnastics, swimming, and then track and field.
I was going to say, if it's a bunch of teenage boys or girls or guys in their 20s, I would have thought it would have gone gymnastics, swimming, beach volleyball. But
beach volleyball is actually higher if you're going with that demographics, to be honest with you. So so on Monday, she swam the 400-meter final. Then she did her heats in 200, 1500. She swam a total of 2,100 meters. Michael Phelps never swam more than 600 meters in a single day at his Olympics. She did 21. She did 3.5 times that. Also, to put in perspective, if she reaches the final in every event she's entered, which also includes the 800 and the 4x2 free relay, she will have swum 6,200 meters across 6 days, almost twice as many as Phelps did in 2008 when he won a historic 8 golds. Yeah, she's dominant.
How many miles is 6,000 meters? Is that a little over 1 mile?
1,600 in a mile, right?
No, there's 5,280 feet in a mile. Yards would cut that down by a third.
When you run a 1,600 meters, that's a mile.
Talking.
Yeah, that's what we just
1
did.
mile.
Yeah.
So she swam a whole mile.
Yeah. Also, we saw was it last night or overnight, or I guess it was this morning, breaking news. Simone Biles pulled out of the team competition, and so now it's going to be a long shot for Team USA to overtake.
What happened with Simone? Why did she pull out?
Let's see. It says here she left the floor with a trainer. Okay, so she competed in the vault on Tuesday morning, and she scored a low mark for her of a 13.76. I don't know what that means, but if it's low for her, it's low for her. It's higher than what I could get. That's what I know. She left the floor with a trainer and eventually pulled out of the entire team final with a medical issue. So it's going to take a long shot for the U.S. women to make history. They haven't lost a World Championship or Olympic team event since the 2010 World Championships, and the U.S. was looking to win their third consecutive all-around gold medal after finishing first at the 2012 and 2016 Summer Games. That feat would have made the United States, or if it still happens, we shouldn't talk in the past tense. If it happens, the feat would make the United States the first country to win 3 straight gold medals in the event since the Soviet Union accomplished the feat from 1952 to 1960.
And they weren't doing anything shady or dirty in the Soviet Union back then.
No. And I think
their female gymnastics came out with full beards.
Mm-hmm. Where is it? And the other crazy thing is, you know that the Russia's banned from the Olympics, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they are still competing under, like, I forget what it's called, athletes of the Russia or whatever. I'll pull it up in a second. Just because the crazy thing is it's a medal count that we're at. Let's take a look at it. Because going into this morning, United States was leading, and they are. But what is it? I should know this off the top of my head. Russian Olympic Committee, that's what they are competing under. They're still 4th in the medal count. They have 18. United States leads the medal count as of right now with 25, and China is 2nd with 21, and Japan is 3rd with 18. Oh, I'm sorry, the Russian Olympic Committee is tied for 3rd with 18. Japan leads everybody with 10 gold medals. United States is right, and China is right behind with 9. So, does this matter to you? Like the medal count?
It's fun to look at. It's interesting that girls' fast pitch game this morning was the difference between Japan and America in the
that's
gold
right.
medal.
Yeah, they would be leading it as of right now. So, anything else going on today? Like I said, swimming finals are going to start tonight at 8:40. And so that will be the women's 200-meter butterfly, men's 200-meter butterfly, women's 1500-meter freestyle, and men's 4x2 freestyle relay. The other big news that happened last week is that, the Oklahoma-Texas to leave Big 12 and to go to the SEC, which has led to tons of speculation. Oklahoma and Texas have formally notified the SEC of membership requests for 2025. According to a press released by SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey, said the two universities look forward to the prospect of discussing regarding the matter. So, this is going to make a huge shakeup in college football. And the thing is that I believe the college football playoff has its contract through 2023, and they already said they're looking to expand. Look for that to only be a 2-year deal, because if this happens in 2025, this is a possibility that we are just blowing up conferences. There's been odd speculation of things, and it started last week with like Dan Patrick, where he believed that to make this a money-making thing, and I'm paraphrasing, but it's not a bad idea, that you basically just make 4 power conferences out of 10 teams. Basically, at the end of the year, it's kind of like the English Premier League. You have the top 40 teams at the end of the year, and you are making it to next year. Now you have the possibility of winning the college national championship. The rest of you guys are all fighting to get back in. Someone's going to drop out. Someone's going to come back in next year. So there would be what he's suggesting is, because it's such a cash grab, at the end of the year, you have a final ranking show. Who doesn't want to sponsor that? You know what I'm saying? Sponsored by T-Mobile. The final rankings. Who's going to be in next year? Who's got a shot? Then you have a preseason. Here's our schedule. And, and some of the schedule, like you would play 9 games within your 10, but you play outside. And he kept saying over and over, but he's like, you'd have Ohio State and USC week 1 playing each other. And they would all make the schedules and everything else. And you're playing top 40 talent every single week. So it would knock out the... Iowa versus Northern Illinois, and that's not to say Iowa would be in the top 40 every year, but it's an interesting way of looking at it.
I think Iowa would probably be in the top 40 every year.
I would think so, but there are some down years. There's some years where you expect that you're reading things where they're returning 18 of 22 starters, and then they end up going 4-8, and you're like, what happened here? And that would knock you out of the top 40. But then you have other years where they do that 4-8, then they go, let's say 6-6, and everyone's projecting them to be another 6-6, and then they go 11-1, and and lose in the Big Ten championship or something. It's always like, it just seems like it was funny because there was a reference to Kirk Ferentz by Ryan Russillo on the Bill Simmons podcast about the coach for Milwaukee Bucks, about how if he would have lost the NBA championship, he probably would have been fired. And he said it's like Kirk Ferentz at Iowa. Just when you think that they've got all the momentum to get him out of there, he rattles off 11-1 or 10-2, and it was a odd reference, but I thought it was an appropriate one. So I do think that that's where it's going to go, and I think that because of the 2025, it'll make it only like a 2-year deal for the college football playoff because they're going to see that the writing's on the wall. Now, what's the Big Ten going to do? I don't know. The thing is talk is Kansas.
I heard Iowa State.
I heard Iowa State too, but the big push is more for Kansas. But Iowa State makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa would love that. I'm talking about the people in Iowa would love to have their two teams in the same conference, and so they can see them go toe to toe all
I'm
year.
in Iowa. I don't care.
No, I think you're the minority, Jay. I think a lot of people would dig that.
I'm telling you right now. Listen, no disrespect to Iowa State and what they have, and they have a bright future in college football coming up for this season. But really, they don't bring anything to the table revenue-wise for the Big Ten network, the way Kansas does. Now, that's why they go out and they got Maryland and Rutgers to add to it because they got the East Coast money there. You know, they got the eyes and everything else, and they can expand it. But they don't. Iowa State doesn't expand the Big Ten network. Now, if I'm saying what I'm saying and that these conferences for football blow up, it doesn't really matter too much.
What's the scoop on Peterson's kid?
What do you mean?
Is he going to play another year, or did he get drafted? I mean, I don't even know what.
What are you talking
about? Troy Peterson. I went to high school with him. He's a West High, class of 90. I just aged you, Troy. His son plays defensive end or linebacker for Iowa State. He's just like
I have to keep an eye out for him. Then.
No, he's an absolute stud. He's,
okay.
You really don't know who I'm talking
about?
No,
I really don't. No.
I'm going to look it up.
You can look it up when we go to break.
Got drafted.
Yeah.
All right.
You can look that up when we go to break, though. All right. But first, dude, what do I need to do? Yeah, we're going to go to break here. And for our first break for the hour here at Don't Hassles for Local. But first, let me tell you about the $5 home run special promotion running at EliteSportsbook.com. Elite Sportsbook is offering $5 in free bets for every home run hit when you wager $50 or more on a Major League Baseball game, and that is running through to today. Your first $50 plus MLB wager will qualify you for this promo. However, your earnings are endless. No promo code required. Just download the app or visit EliteSportsbook.com to sign up. Also, take advantage of their $500 risk-free first bet. Must be 21. For more information, visit EliteSportsbook.com. We'll be right back here. Don't Hassle Us, the Local on ESPN 1170 AM.
This is Julian Vandervelde, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
This is a big deal. Now at healthcare.gov, millions more people can get affordable health coverage. Due to the COVID relief law, 4 out of 5 customers can get a plan for under $10 a month with financial help. From doctor visits to preventive services to prescription drugs, these are quality plans. You can do this. You can have coverage as soon as August 1st if you sign up now at healthcare.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Good morning, privates! Good morning, Drill Sergeant! I mean, seriously, what a pleasant morning. The sun is shining and the birds are chirping.
You seem to be in a good mood today.
Astute observation, Private. Astute.
He's probably happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
So, in lieu of the obstacle course today, I propose a nice, meditative nature walk. Does that sound delightful to everyone?
Yes, Drill Sergeant!
Have a change of heart with Honey Nut Cheerios. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
This is Will at Dolan Jewelers telling you it's a great time to find the perfect engagement ring. We have a 1-carat diamond ring for $29.99. That's right, a 1-carat for just $29.99. Take advantage of our interest-free financing, and now that same ring is only $125 a month. We'll make it fun, fast, and easy with a selection of the most popular styles and diamonds. Visit us on Elmore Avenue in Davenport or DolanJewelers.com.
Hey Sarah, how's business?
It's going well. Our clients love our work. I just wish that we could figure out how to grow faster.
I hear you. Is it slow for everyone in your industry right now?
Actually, no. I see competitors all over who seem to be very busy, even though I know my work is better than theirs. I just wish I knew how they were finding new customers. If I could do it too, I know I could beat them.
Growing a business in the Quad Cities is challenging, and figuring out where to start is the hardest part. If your business does great work but just needs help finding more customers, then Town Square can help. Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free competitive analysis that'll show you how the most successful businesses in the Quad Cities grow and how you can do it too. These strategies are simple, and we can show you how to apply them to your business. Be one of the first businesses to sign up, and you'll receive $500 in free advertising on this radio station. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
I'm Omar Reese with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. One of the top remaining free agents has found a new home. The Steelers are signing former Chargers Pro Bowl defensive end Melvin Ingram to a one-year deal. Ingram struggled with injuries in 2020, but averaged 9 sacks a year the previous 5 seasons. Another Pro Bowl defensive lineman could also be on the move. Former Bengal Geno Atkins is now recovered from a torn rotator cuff and will begin taking free agent visits. Meantime, Vikings defensive tackle Michael Pierce injured his calf and could miss the start of training camp. Giants running back Saquon Barkley said Monday his surgically repaired knee is feeling good, so will he be on the field when camp begins next week?
No, I don't have an answer, to be honest. Just got to continue to listen to my body, listen to the trainers, listen to the coaches, just take it day by day.
Is it at least safe to say, day one, you're not going to be able to go full go, right?
I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll see, right?
This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
When you're ready to buy something, the first thing you do is go online. But buying a home is different. You've got loan applications, pre-approvals, competing offers, the list goes on. That's where a Realtor comes in. Realtors have expertise and local knowledge to give you a competitive edge that a search bar just can't. And in today's market, an edge is what you need. So when you're ready to buy a home, the first thing to do is make sure you have an agent who's a Realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
I need tech that can make me as productive in my home office as I am at my office.
It's possible with Staples Connect.
How about tech that will help me focus on my work and my workouts?
Also possible. Staples Connect has all the tech you need to work and learn from home. And now Apple AirPods Pro are only $179. That's $70 off. Explore what's new at your local Staples store or at staplesconnect.com. Staples Connect, the working and learning store. N731 Limit 2 in-store only.
Your sports leader is new and different every day. Download the ESPN 1170 app today and never miss a thing.
All right, welcome back to Don't Hassle Us for Local here on ESPN 1170 AM. Scores from yesterday. The Mets in the first game. Was it the first game? No, it was the second game. Braves beat the Mets in the first game 2-0, shut them out. In the second game, the Mets shut out the Braves 1-0. The Phillies beat the Nationals 6-5. Red Sox 5-4 over the Blue Jays. Your Kansas City Royals, Jimmy, were at home. They beat the White Sox 4-3. Cubs 6-5 over the Reds with a walk-off by Javi Baez. In extra innings, the Minnesota Twins beat the Detroit Tigers. The Angels 6-2 over the Rockies, and the Mariners on the West Coast at home beat the Astros 11-8. Looking at games today on the slate. All night games starting at 6:05. Miami is at Baltimore. The Marlins are at the Baltimore Orioles. We need to look at the run line on that. The Washington Nationals are in a divisional game against the Phillies. Milwaukee goes to Pittsburgh. Boston hosts Toronto. The St. Louis Cardinals go to Cleveland. Adam Wainwright on the mound for the Cardinals, 7.6 on the year, 3.56 ERA. Braves and the Mets continue their series at 6:10. Yankees at the Rays. The Reds and the Cubs again, 7:05 first pitch. Arizona Diamondbacks go to the Rangers. White Sox and the Kansas City Royals, first pitch 7:10. Dylan Cease on the mound for the White Sox, 7.6 on the year, 4.21 ERA. Brad Keller for the Royals, 7-9. 5.84. Detroit goes to play at Minnesota. Colorado at the Angels. Dodgers at the Giants. It seems like they play every other series right now. Oakland at San Diego Padres, and Houston at Seattle. Happy birthday to Alex Rodriguez. Turns 46 years old today. Also, Max Scherzer's birthday. He turns 37 today. Happiest of birthdays to them. We'll come back to baseball a little bit later. We're going to look at some power rankings and whatnot. So the saga, is it over, of Aaron Rodgers? He reported back to reportedly went back to Lambeau. Got there Monday. So the deal was last week they said, are you familiar with the craziness? I know you were traveling, of Aaron Rodgers and what they've given us for 4 months of nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he didn't. He said he wasn't going to come back. He didn't like his contract. Then they tried to say that, well, we wanted to add 2 years and make him the richest guy ever. And he said, basically, it's the same contract. It's just a matter that you can opt out and save money on the cap room. You can cut me whenever you want. I don't like this. Well, they worked all weekend long to get this to go back and forth. So what it kind of did was it removed the final year of Rodgers' contract for 2023. So that means he can play this year, and he has the free and gives him the freedom, and next year, and he has the freedom to leave as of 2022. There's another clause in there that says that the Packers will review the situation after the season, implying that, hey, we'll trade you. If that's what you want, we'll trade you. So, this will be Rodgers' 17th season in Green Bay. No quarterback has ever gone more than 16 seasons as a Green Bay Packer.
How many did Favre have?
16. Bart Starr, 16.
Well, let me ask you this. How many of those 17 years of Rodgers was he sitting on the bench when Favre was still playing? Was there 1 or 2?
I think there was 2.
Okay.
Yeah, if not 3.
So Favre actually was on the field for 16.
Yeah.
He was their starting quarterback day in, day out. I think Rodgers has only been the day in, day out quarterback for 15 years.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did Favre actually start from day one, or did he have to sit behind like Dan Mikowski?
Well, he was drafted by the Falcons.
Yeah.
And then they dealt him to Green Bay, but I think he started right away.
I think he did too. So here's the interesting thing, because I mean, you can do the whole, like, we can break it down and be like, okay, well, how are the odds? Odds hadn't changed at all. The only thing it really does now is, if I look at anything, let's take a look at this. The only thing I'm excited to see if things change, and we'll go to my friends at EliteSportsbook.com. And we'll look at Pro Football Futures. We'll look at the Pro Football Championship. They dropped the Broncos down, but not nearly far enough. I don't know if they have dropped the Broncos down. No one's going to bet that. But the Chiefs remain the favorite at 5-1, Buccaneers 6-1, Packers 8-1, Rams 11-1, Bills 12-1, then Broncos 12-1. I know that the Broncos were up there because of the speculation that Rodgers would be traded there. They didn't want to lose their rear end. The book didn't. But if he's not going there, the Broncos need to be dropped down all the way down to 25-1. I think the Chargers have a better chance of winning it than they do. This is the interesting thing. I don't know what he has investment in as far as Aaron Rodgers. I don't know how much access NFL Films has to everything. There has to become an agreement somewhere with the commissioner, with Aaron Rodgers, with the Green Bay Packers, and NFL Films. And if Aaron Rodgers has a production company, I don't know. They've got to do a Michael Jordan Last Dance thing, where they just videotape this 24/7, and they put the film away, just like they did with Michael Jordan. They say, we'll release this when you agree to it, because Aaron Rodgers is not going to okay this. He's a very, very private guy. So if they can come to a thing and say, like, we want to follow you around, and it may never come to fruition, and this is a waste of money, but we might do it when you okay it. I would much rather, I'd much rather this than... Okay.
Is Aaron Rodgers in the same stratosphere? And I'm not talking about his skill. He's an amazingly gifted quarterback. But as far as his watchability, and then, of course, we live rather close to Green Bay. Most people in the Quad Cities are either Packers or Bears fans, maybe some Vikings fans. So we live in a demographic where it might work. But nationwide, is he in the same stratosphere of watchability as, say, Tom Brady or Peyton Manning? If they're going to do a Last Dance type of thing, I mean, it should be Tom Brady that they're going to do this documentary on. That's what's going to sell the most, like with Michael Jordan. What you're talking about is if they did a Last Dance episode with Karl Malone. You know, that's where Aaron Rodgers is. Karl Malone's a great ball player, okay, but he's not in the same stratosphere as Michael Jordan. And unfortunately, I think Aaron Rodgers is closer to a Karl Malone than a Michael Jordan. Do you agree?
Yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying. I guess what I would be looking forward to is that, if he doesn't have a production company, how's that? I don't want it to be skewed because there's so many guys that do have their own production company, and I guarantee Tom Brady has his own production company. So that's where the things get skewed. I guess it would be stock in like, you would want to have the same thing as like Jordan had, like when you both agreed to release it. Now, do I think he has the watchability? I think he has the ability to. I think he's got a sense of humor. I think he did fine hosting Jeopardy. I think he can impromptu speak, whatever else. But I do know he's very private, so I don't know if it would come off as.
So he's like a good neighbor.
Yeah. He's from State Farm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
he's private. He's like a good neighbor.
Yeah, because I've told the story over and over again. When he sits down, when the people do an interview with him and they open up that little recorder, he sits one down too. Says, I have to do this, right? And and they're like, yeah, because he doesn't want to be, he doesn't want to be misquoted. He doesn't want anything, So, and he's, he's not very much into like things with his family. But Jordan didn't include anything with his family in that.
Jordan also had, I remember hearing in that documentary, The Last Dance, what he wanted in writing was that he was able to have the last word in every segment. When you watch the video, no matter what they're talking about, how crazy was Dennis Rodman, how great of a teammate was B.J. Armstrong, whatever it was, Jordan was always the last one in the documentary that said something about it. Mm-hmm. He wanted it that way. He wanted to be able to watch everybody else's tapes and then be able to comment on what they all said. Is that how you do it if you're in that if you're in that spectrum making a documentary about you?
Yes.
You want to have the last word and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it was. The thing with Jordan was that was never going to come to fruition. There was always rumors out there that there was all these tapes and stuff, but it was the guy who put together.
Is that the best documentary you've ever seen?
It's the best documentary I've ever seen. I mean, it's the number one. If you do documentaries, Hoop Dreams is up there, but that one was crazy. That's over 4 years plus. Mm-hmm. This one, it's the best one, 10-part, and they could have done more, obviously. And it's probably the idea that they did the last 4 episodes during the pandemic, and we're talking about the shutdown of the pandemic, where it got pushed forward. It got pushed up 2 months to do it. But the guy who did the documentary, the 30 for 30 on Allen Iverson, was encouraged by friends to just like, hey, you should put this together, you should do this. He wrote a letter to Jordan and was like, it's time. These people need to do it. I'm seeing kids buy your shoes and next generation, their kids and their kids from, I used to buy your shoes. Writes this letter to him. And eventually he happens to be at a place where Jordan's at. And the guy knows Jordan's agent. He's like, you got to get me just a meeting with him. So he's like, I'm such and such. I wrote you a letter. And he's like, okay. And then he looks at it again. And he has with him and something to do with his resume. But then Jordan looks up and he goes, you're the guy that did the AI documentary? He's like, I'm the guy that did the AI documentary. He goes, I watched it twice. Cried both times. Love that guy. And within 24 hours, he agreed to do the documentary with him.
They made history.
Oh, it's great.
It was absolutely amazing. I'm not a
Jason Hare is the guy, the director.
I'm not a huge basketball fan. Never have been, but I couldn't take my eyes off that. Every second of that documentary was great.
So I guess the question, what you're asking the Karl Malone thing is sort of funny. Who would be the...
would anybody even give a crap about an Aaron Rodgers documentary other than the diehard Packers fans?
Huh?
What I'm asking is, would anybody even give a crap about an Aaron Rodgers documentary other than the Green Bay Packers fans? Is that...
I think hardcore NFL fans would care about it. I mean, he's He's a complex individual. I think what the GM said, he's a special person or whatever else. Like it was something on the end of it. But 1 year he goes 13-3, and during the whole time he's praising the team and everything else. He gets done with the NFC Championship game, he loses, and he says like, back to the grindstone. We got to figure out what's going on. Can't wait till next year. Goes 13-3 the next year, comes back and he goes, I don't know what the future holds. That's it. I don't know what the future holds.
Mm-hmm.
And, you also have this thing in this, you have the Jordan Love situation too, which is intriguing because people want to see how he treats Jordan Love, or how does Jordan Love in the shadow, how does he progress as an NFL quarterback? Because by that time, if this documentary comes out, we find out if Jordan Love is a bust or not, or if it's being next to greatness has made him a better quarterback.
It was the same thing when Favre was there. Everybody was anticipating Rodgers. What's going to happen? How good is this guy going to be? It's supposed to be great. I'm talking about when Favre was still playing there. Everybody knew that eventually Rodgers was going to get the throne, and they wanted to see how good he was going to be.
This is a smart deal by the Packers, by the way. Now I'm going back to the contract or the decision of what they're going to do. This is a smart decision by the Packers. Now, all year they can work on a trade. See, after the draft, you've now lost those draft picks. You don't really need the players. The Packers have good pieces in place. They have a good defense. They've got a good running back. But Devontae Adams, now that's a problem. But they can trade for a wide receiver and some picks or whatever else. But now they're going to get picks in the 2022 draft if they make this trade right after the season. They can work this. Now they've bought themselves. It's July now, so they bought themselves 9 months to negotiate with somebody, and he's got 9 months to negotiate with the team too. And he's got time to go chum it up with people. Now you're going to see all year long if he takes 15 seconds longer to leave the field after a game. 15 seconds longer. You're going to see on Monday, Brett Favre was talking to the coach after the congratulating each other after the game on a hard-fought, battle on the field.
You mean Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers, sorry. Aaron Rodgers, and that you'll see that every Monday. Oh, they shook hands, and then they kind of pulled them back into each other, and they whispered in each other's ear.
That's good for football, though.
Yeah, it's good for speculation.
Yeah, people would love it. I mean, is there ever a chance that he could end up in a Chicago Bears uniform?
No.
No chance whatsoever?
I mean, well, I don't know. I think it's more likely that there'll be a change in GM and a coach before that happens. Because they're going to try to buy themselves time, but the Fields thing has to come sooner or later for the Bears, and that's going to be the future right now. They're going to try to keep their eye on that. I just think he'll end up in Denver. Or... See, no, because they just got Trey Lance. What's in California for him? Nothing. Probably Vegas, too. Because they can cut Derek Carr and save themselves like tons of cap room after the season.
Yep.
And so Vegas is an opportunity as well.
Chargers, no?
Nah, they got Herbert. He's got high praise from Drew Brees and all kinds of people like that. It's interesting, but you bring up Tom Brady. Would you...
Tom Brady is...
Tom Brady is fake to me. I'm sorry.
But he is the Michael Jordan of football.
100%. There's no doubt about it, but I don't really want to see a documentary Last Dance on him going out or anything like that.
I think you're the minority.
Okay.
I think out of all the players currently, if they were going to have to sell a documentary, obviously the nation would want to see one on Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge Tom Brady fan either. I always loved Peyton Manning. But the guy, now that he's won 7 Super Bowls, is that what it is?
7, yeah.
7 Super Bowls? I mean, geez. That's just, it's unheard of. Very Jordan-esque. Is he going to win an 8th?
Huh?
Is he going to win an 8th?
He's got all 22 starters back. He's got a division that he can win. Carolina he can beat. Atlanta he can beat. And the Saints, we don't know who starter probably will be Jameis, I think, or Taysom. I don't know. I think he can win that division. He'll easily could be, well, the Green Bay could be a 1, and we don't know what's going to happen with San Francisco out there or anybody else in the NL West. He's be a 1 or 2 seed. 1 gets the bye, that's it. But he was a 5 seed, a 3 seed or something?
Yeah, they didn't win.
Yeah.
They didn't even win the division last year.
Yeah, so, but it took them a while. I mean, they even lost to the Bears. So, we'll see what happens with that. Let's keep talking about the Last Dance when we come back from break, because I want to talk about possibilities of who you would like to see in any kind of sport, that's coming up soon. That's retiring. That if we knew that we would get, a heads up that they're going to retire, or who you would like to seen in the past. But before we do that, I got to give you a trivia question. Don't answer now. Wait till after the break, okay? Don't answer it on the air. I'm going to give you a Major League Baseball trivia question.
I promise.
Miguel Cabrera now has 1,100 career extra base hits. The 21st player all time to reach that mark. Who has the most extra base hits in Major League Baseball history with 1,477? Okay.
I know my guess.
I'll say it again. Miguel Cabrera now has 1,100 career extra base hits. The 21st player all time to reach that mark. Who has the most extra base hits in Major League Baseball history with 1,477? We'll give that answer when we come back from the break.
Hey, this is Goose, PA announcer for the Quad City Storm, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us,
The real
We're
estate
Local.
market is always tough. But this market, it's unlike anything we've ever seen. When the average home stays on the market just 24 days and houses routinely go for more than the listing price, who you work with matters. Realtors have the expertise, local knowledge, and personal touch to give you a competitive advantage throughout the entire home buying process. And that's something an ordinary agent could never do. So make sure your agent is a realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 5510 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 5510. Enjoy.
Gonna miss you around here, Iris.
Olivia's best optometry technician is going back to school.
Did we get that new frame?
Her eye is already twitching about finding a replacement.
Ugh, this can't keep happening. We're gonna have to cancel appointments.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Screen for quality candidates with the skills your role needs with Indeed assessments. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're ready for an oil change, trust the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your car. Right now, get 5 quarts of Valvoline full synthetic motor oil and a Wix filter for $33.99. Plus, get a $10 gift card after mail-in rebate and double O Rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Draft Day Sports Lounge has everything you need to enjoy all the sports action. Over 50 beer options to choose from, great food, sports betting, and a fantastic atmosphere for you and your friends to escape to. They're always adding to the menu to make sure there's the perfect option for everyone. So come visit Draft Day Sports Lounge inside Rhythm City Casino. And if you want to plan ahead, the full menu is at rhythmcitycasino.com.
I'm Omar Reese with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. One of the top remaining free agents has found a new home. The Steelers are signing former Chargers Pro Bowl defensive end Melvin Ingram to a 1-year deal. Ingram struggled with injuries in 2020 but averaged 9 sacks a year the previous 5 seasons. Another Pro Bowl defensive lineman could also be on the move. Former Bengal Geno Atkins is now recovered from a torn rotator cuff and will begin taking free agent visits. Meantime, Vikings defensive tackle Michael Pierce injured his calf and could miss the start of training camp. Giants running back Saquon Barkley said Monday his surgically repaired knee is feeling good, so will he be on the field when camp begins next week?
No, I don't have an answer, to be honest. Just got to continue to listen to my body, listen to the trainers, listen to the coaches, just take it day by day.
Is it at least safe to say, day one, you're not going to be able to go full go, right?
I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll see, right?
This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
When you're ready to buy something, the first thing you do is go online. But buying a home is different. You've got loan applications, pre-approvals, competing offers, the list goes on. That's where a Realtor comes in. Realtors have expertise and local knowledge to give you a competitive edge that a search bar just can't. And in today's market, an edge is what you need. So when you're ready to buy a home, the first thing to do is make sure you have an agent who's a Realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
I need tech that can make me as productive in my home office as I am at my office.
It's possible with Staples Connect.
How about tech that will help me focus on my work and my workouts?
Also possible. Staples Connect has all the tech you need to work and learn from home. And now Apple AirPods Pro are only $179. That's $70 off. Explore what's new at your local Staples store or at staplesconnect.com. Staples Connect, the working and learning store. N731 Limit 2 in-store only.
Turn on the radio when you're stuck at work, and you'll never miss a pitch. From the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle So Local here on ESPN 1170 AM, 12:47 in the afternoon, Tuesday, July 27th. Like we were saying in the last break, happy birthday to Alex Rodriguez and Max Scherzer. All right, before we went off the air for the commercial break, I gave you the trivia question of the day. Miguel Cabrera now has 1,100 career extra base hits, the 21st player all time to reach that mark. Who has the most extra base hits in Major League Baseball history with 1,477?
I thought about that, and I thought, well, Babe Ruth, a lot of homers, but it was either homers or strikeouts or singles. I thought about Hank Aaron, but I thought he was closer to Ruth than a lot of doubles and triples. My guess was Stan Musial, and I guess he's number 3 on the list. Stan Musial's number 3.
Do you know who's number 2?
Number 2?
Willie Mays.
Nope.
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
Okay. So the number 1 is?
The Hammer.
Yeah. Most extra base hits is
Hank Aaron.
Hank Aaron. That's right. R.I.P. Hank Aaron, who, passed away in the past year. So what an amazing hitter. All right, so before we went to break, we were talking about Aaron Rodgers coming back, which is probably the last year with the Packers because he's reportedly worked out a deal that they'll lose the 2023 end of his contract, and they will look at the situation at the end of this season, implying that they will trade him. I guess he's also going to have some input on player personnel, whatnot. I don't know. But we were talking about, would this lead to a possibility between NFL Films, Aaron Rodgers, and the NFL, the Green Bay Packers, agreeing to videotaping 24/7 what's going on and creating a Last Dance type of documentary? Jimmy raises a good point. Is Aaron Rodgers like that watchable? Outside of, because we live in this area, we're kind of geographically linked to him. Is the average, I guess people like in California, because that's where he went, Cal, but is the people in the Southeast going to watch him? Down in football country down in Texas, are they going to want to watch the documentary? I don't know. But people watch Hard Knocks every year on HBO, even if it's not their team. So it's a possibility. And then they could just make a series, that live series right now as it went. But I'd like the idea better that it gets released much later, because we get to see what happens with Jordan Love. Erickson on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread says that Jordan Love won't even be number 2 on the depth chart. He'll be number 3. Blake Bortles will be number 2. Well, like I said, we'll see. All right, so I know Tom Brady probably will announce ahead of time it's his last year. That's just what I expect Tom Brady to do. To make every game that he goes to on the road, or that it's his last time ever playing in this stadium, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure that when he gives him plenty of notice, the NFL will have him play Patriots again. They're going up there this year, but I'm sure they'll make sure they play him again. Well, they kind of have a schedule. You have to play in the division. So, and they'll do, I'm not a big fan of that stuff. Like when you announce the year before, and, especially in baseball, like Mariano Rivera announced it, and then they'll do the gag thing where they bring out a rocking chair, but it'll be like, I think and be like, here you go. Yeah, you're retiring. And it'll be the other team's like emblem. And I don't like that stuff. Nor do I like the one-day contract so you can retire as a player. But who would you like to see have a documentary style outside of Tom Brady?
We're talking about present football players.
Right? It can be present football, basketball, baseball. I don't care. Yeah, I just want to talk about present athletes, ones that you think are intriguing enough that you would watch, and that would probably move the eyeballs.
I think what helps a good documentary is the classic hero's journey where you come from nothing. No offense to Tom Brady, but I'm quite sure he had a pretty comfortable childhood.
Sure.
Grew up in a normal suburbia type of atmosphere. I'd like to go with somebody who, I'm just going to throw him out here, Aroldis Chapman. I'd like to see how that guy grew up and why he ended up being able to throw 105 miles an hour. He's not the most popular guy in the world, but he's got something that nobody else has. He threw a baseball 105, or was there somebody that tied that? Did Witt for the Cardinals throw 105?
I don't know. I'm going to interrupt you real quick because I'm going to take a comment here from the Harrington Pub Facebook comment thread that comes from Stock, and he says the Last Dance really worked thanks to the sports world being frozen due to the pandemic. Disagree. 100% disagree. That thing was released, that trailer was released and blew up on YouTube a year in advance for the Last Dance.
That thing would have been golden no matter when it was released.
And I even said, I'm not too excited about it. This thing was going to come up in June. It was supposed to come out in June. They fast-tracked it because of the COVID, and they did a wonderful job for the last 4 episodes. But this thing would have... No. This thing would have been just fine. The only difference it would have done is it would have been on every Monday night, not Sunday night. And that's what it was. It was on every Sunday night during the pandemic, but it would... baseball, ESPN has Sunday Night Baseball. It would have been every Monday night, and it would have been must-watch TV every Monday night, just like it was during the pandemic. It's the one thing about sports that I will not say that I will not agree with that at all, that it did that. Yeah, there's a good question. I do like Erickson here. He said the Alex Smith documentary, which would be great, but that's a 30 for 30. We're talking about final season, cameras 24/7. Can be anywhere from 6 to 10 parter.
Here's the thing, yes,
must watch TV.
Michael Jordan was the greatest athlete in any sport in our history. I believe that. But when he was playing in the 80s and 90s, you didn't have the mass media coverage you have now. So in the last 10, 20 years, we've almost seen these massive documentaries on people like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. They're so followed. You can go watch anything. I can go type Tom Brady in on YouTube right now and see 100 different videos that are almost like mini documentaries. So we've already been saturated with these characters. When I brought up Aroldis Chapman, I haven't seen much about this guy. He's mysterious to me. How did he end up throwing so hard? Here's another one. Not to sound morbid here, but I would like to see a documentary on Junior Seau. What happened with him?
Yeah.
These are characters that our social media hasn't flooded us with yet, and so here's one that I'm kind of interested in. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers. He won 1 Super Bowl. What about Ben Roethlisberger? I think that'd be a good documentary. He went through his troubled times. He's won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, he gives a 1 year. He gives a year in advance. I'm done. He gives the green light, but says I have final say in the cut. How much is he going to own up to his troubles in the past? Is he going to let those news headlines go on there or anything like that?
Depends on how much he wants the thing to sell.
Mm-hmm.
If you could package that with a trailer that showcased that he's going to be transparent, oh gosh, everybody wants to watch it. Now, is that the card hand he wants to play?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is there a statute of limitations? Can he get in trouble for anything still? He got off scot-free back in the day.
Yeah.
What about you? Who do you want to see a documentary on?
Final year in football?
Any sport.
Yeah, in any sport.
I was going to say Barry Bonds, but again, just like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, his whole life was documented.
Yeah.
We've seen all the news media clips and everything. So it would almost be
I just want to have like
repetitious.
those. I want to have those quotes that aren't shared a lot. How's that? And then you have the interviews and him looking at the thing, looking at the iPad when it's handed to him. Like that's what Jason Hare did. That changed documentaries, by the way. When you get that initial response, like when he talks about Gary Payton and he goes, "I didn't have any problem with the glove." After he said that, So, but you have that the quote and the general manager telling the story. Like when he broke the record, the former general manager of the Pirates called him and congratulated him. Barry Bonds said, "I would have done it a season ago if you would have called me up like I told you to earlier." That's what I want to. I want that. He's watching this thing and be like, "Yeah, I called him and did that." And he's like, "I absolutely told him that." And it's the inside of Michael Jordan. All right, you have the story of. I forget the name, so I can't even say it. But the guy, I think he played on Washington, and Jordan said that the guy dropped like 36 on him. And he said, "Hey, good game, Mike." And Mike goes, "I took that personally." So the next night they play a back-to-back, and he drops 36 within the first half. And he said he did it because he took it personally. And later on, when the story is regurgitated and told again, and it gets to that guy, the guy goes, "I never said that to Mike. He made up a fake conversation with George. He made up George Karl snubbing him at a restaurant in the NBA Finals, just to motivate him to get even more angrier." Those are the type of stories I want to hear. Mm-hmm. Obviously, these guys have had cameras around them and whatnot, but I want the things of quotes that are there that may have gone to the wayside in a local beat reporter coming back into the stories. So I wouldn't. That's the type of thing that would intrigue me out of Barry Bonds, or just to have anyone talking about another player talking about him and steroids, and him just his immediate response being like, "Well, that guy was a scrub. He was jealous of me." I just want those immediate reactions of that. But I get your point over Barry Bonds. Who would be in the NFL right now?
It's got to be their last season, so
yeah.
Roethlisberger is a good pick. Rodgers we talked about. Which documentary would more of the country be eager to watch, a Roethlisberger or a Rodgers documentary?
Both large fan bases. Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh's got the East Coast to it. I think people will be more.
I think Roethlisberger's more of a checkered character. He's a checkered past. I think that sells.
I think the checkered past far outweighs the possibility of family problems that maybe you have to get into or whatever else. But you have just the 4 months of drama between the Packers and him that you get to weigh on and go back and forth. And but the thing about this is kind of split the Packers fans. Like a lot of them are like, "Go send him on his way." I mean, I know they're happy he's back, but they're like, "We're over it. We got to keep going," So that's the only thing. I just think you still have people that are like, Rodgers is better. It is. If he opens up about those years sitting behind Favre and how much it irritated him, and then the past couple years the front office irritating him, and he's like, "No, I was pissed when they drafted this guy," or not just Jordan Love, but anybody. I was mad that they wouldn't get me they wouldn't spend money on another wide receiver, that type of thing. So it's Rodgers for me. Roethlisberger, if he were to open up about his checkered past, and you could have, if there's a non-disclosure agreement that they may have with whoever the person was, if they lift that and they got to say things, but that's never going to happen. So
here's one for you. Maybe it could be his last season. I don't know, but what about a documentary on Watson?
So Deshaun Watson agreed to go back to the Houston Texans.
They could call it Elementary, My Dear Watson.
They could call it Elementary, My Dear Watson. All right, so he agreed to go back to and he said it wasn't weird or anything like that, but he still would like a trade. So let's see. So we went back to camp, and it was reported yesterday or Sunday morning. Oh, he reported the facility on Sunday. And he didn't want to get fined $50,000 for each day he didn't report. The new collective bargaining agreement went into effect in 2020, says fines for holdouts can no longer be forgiven. So the Texans chose to cancel their mandatory minicamp in June. If they wouldn't have, he would have been fined $95,877. So now they're open to trading him. And what is it that this is what the Texans want. 5 high draft picks and starting caliber players, 2 league executives had told ESPN's Chris Mortensen. So what they want for him, for Watson, is 5 high draft picks. So obviously, I think it's 3 ones, and then 2 in the probably two third rounds, and starting caliber players. Players. It says players here. And who's going to do that?
Too much baggage.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's not going to happen until 2022. So you're maybe getting someone for the first round. And I don't think there's really a team in the league that needs somebody right now to give that up to. I wouldn't give that up.
Would the Patriots do that if Cam is a bust again?
Oh, this is actually something the Patriots would do. This is something the Patriots would do. They'd be like, "Yeah, draft picks. Yeah, all right." But a possibility of 1 year, that would be interesting. I'd rather have more of a documentary of the front office trying to get this deal done and dealing with the overall. That's the documentary I want, and yeah, because it would not be elementary to figure this out. I mean, if
you said elementary, my dear Watson.
That's what I was saying. Elementary to figure, dear Watson.
I'll tell you a team that would sell the farm, and then Watson would be a bust for him. Is the Bears. They would give up everything and end up getting nothing. Just traditional.
Yeah. Well, I thought that before this came out, I thought the allegations and everything, I thought the Bears should go out and give the farm for him just to be like, yep, we made a mistake. We traded up for Trubisky and we didn't get Deshaun Watson. So we're owning up to our mistakes. So that's let's just do that. I just don't know anybody who's going to give up that many picks for something this iffy, and why they would. But that type of documentary, is there anyone? The thing is running backs don't have the longevity anymore of an Emmitt Smith or Walter Payton. So you can't find a running back that you're like, oh, this is gonna be his last year. He announced it ahead of time. Mm-hmm. I mean, Frank Gore could, he should, but I think he's a free agent right now, and he's been playing in the league for how long?
Is he third all time right now for yards, or
second?
So. I think he might have gotten second.
I wish someone would sign him. And there you go. My answer for football would be Frank Gore, because there's just so much footage that you're gonna have, and I'm sure there's crazy stories or whatever else. In basketball, it will end up being LeBron, but he'll end up doing it himself, his own production company. And in baseball,
here's a good one that we missed a few years ago.
Okay.
David Ortiz. I think he's got such a colorful personality, and he played in such a beloved market. I think people would sit down and watch a documentary on Big Papi.
Yeah, that one definitely that would happen. I'm not a huge David Ortiz guy, but
he's bitter he left the Twins.
Yeah, he didn't leave the Twins. The Twins cut him, so that's even worse.
Hey, there's a documentary I watched. It's on YouTube. It's 3 hours long. It's the complete history of the Seattle Mariners. Mm-hmm. Did you know that Ortiz was originally drafted by Seattle?
No, I didn't know that.
And Ken Griffey Jr. and A-Rod, this was 1995 or 6. They went to the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers.
Yep.
For an exhibition game. It rained, but to give the fans a little bit of excitement, they waited for the rain to die down. They had a home run derby. And Griffey and A-Rod were amazed with this guy named David. He changed his name later to Ortiz, but his real last name was something else. I can't remember, like David Perez or something. Who is this guy? And supposedly, during the home run derby, he hit a ball that went 600 feet.
Okay.
I don't know if I believe that or not, but they showed the ballpark, they showed the dimensions, they showed where it landed. 600 feet, Big Papi. A-Rod's like, can we put this guy on the plane right now and take him back to Seattle? But think about that. He could have been playing first base for the Seattle Mariners when they had A-Rod and Edgar Martinez and Ken Griffey Jr. and Randy Johnson. It's the most underachieving team I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
It's still, to this day, the only team in Major League Baseball that has never made it to a single World Series.
Huh.
It's the only team that's left.
Erickson said his name is David Americo Ortiz Arias.
There you go. David Arias.
David Arias. All right. you want to say like whenever Mike Trout.
Oh, that'd be
does
great.
That, but
you know, I've seen a lot of stuff on him already. Again, he's growing up in this market where you can YouTube.
But he doesn't do anything. Like he's just like just the all-American Boy Scout.
I watched a show with him on YouTube where he's back in New Jersey where he grew up, and he goes in this little diner every day and he orders 5 hamburgers. They're not big, but he orders 5 hamburgers and sits there with all these. You know, you think of New Jersey, you think of a bunch of Guidos and you know, big cities. There's a lot of areas in New Jersey that are similar to Iowa. We got the Poconos Mountains up there, and he goes into this little diner in the off season with all these country folk. Sits there, eats these slider hamburgers. Just a super good guy. Super good. Why is he not a Brady or Jordan type of athlete?
Well, I think MLB has tried to market him that way, and he's just kind of been like, I'm not going to be that. I'm going to stick to my way. They want him to be, you know, this is such an interesting. This is such an interesting way of looking at it because the MLB wants Trout to be more marketable, and he's just like, I'm just going to be me. Mm-hmm. And then the MLB will highlight bat flips, celebrations, or whatever else. But the older generation or your kangaroo courts or whatever else that they want the game to be played the right way don't want you to do it. Mm-hmm. So it's an interesting dynamic when MLB is trying to get Trout to do things to be more marketable, to be more flashy, but then you have the people who police the game, even manager of the White Sox, Tony La Russa, saying there's a right way to play the game and a wrong way to play the game. It's a contradiction.
It is. I think it has a lot to do with the franchise he plays for. I think there's something about the Angels. I think they were established in 1962. That team has been, even though they're in Los Angeles, one of the most boring teams with no dynamite in their history. I mean, and there were times they had Rod Carew and Reggie Jackson, but they've only won 1 World Series, 2002. Another thing that hurts Trout is he hasn't won a World Series.
They win it or Dusty Baker lose it?
Dusty Baker lost it.
There you go. Yeah.
But Barry Bonds never won a World Series, and he's still documentary gold, you know. But Mike Trout has something to do with the Angels, I think. It also has something to do with that he hasn't won a World Series, and he's just a very polite, quiet guy. But I think if Trout would have played in New York and won 4 World Series by now, even with his quiet demeanor, I think he'd be Brady or Jordan-esque.
I think he needs to this person needs to flip the script on the way he's perceived and by the way he plays the game. And if Bryce Harper can figure it out and mature fast.
Are you a big Bryce Harper fan?
I am a Bryce Harper fan. I think he's very talented. I don't like that you said the way you say it, and it looks like that now. It's been that way since he signed the deal with Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Except for he said, I'm going to be here forever, and he's going to recruit people to come play or whatever else, but they're not following through. I mean, they have a good team. They play in a tough division, but they're not really following through here, and he's not being the leader that he needs to. You have to understand, at one point, he was going to hold out the Nationals, and Strasburg said, don't come here. We don't want you. We're building something.
The next year, the Nationals won the World Series.
After he left. I'm talking about when he was a rookie. He didn't want to sign his deal. And Strasburg, who wasn't the easiest cat in the planet either when he was growing up. He had trouble when he was at San Diego State. He was fat and chubby, and he didn't want to work out at all. And his college coach was going to send him home. Said, "I'm done with you. I'm taking your scholarship." And he changed his ways and whatever else. And then he went to the Nationals, and he had to tell Bryce Harper, "We don't want you. Don't sign. We don't want you. Don't come here." And he had to change his ways. There's just a lot of stories that are in the minors that make him seem like this punk kid, and it's not true. But I mean, if you read the articles that he had in Sports Illustrated, he's an amazing hitter. We all know that. We know everything about.
How many seasons has he hit 300?
He's a very good.
Numbers don't lie, Jay.
He broke the wooden bat collegiate level home runs in one season of a total of a career.
I didn't ask that. I said how many major league seasons has he hit over 300?
Probably none.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think he got close to it his MVP year?
Well, we can look it up. He might have had 1 year where he hit over 300, but you look at Mike Trout every year.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about?
I'm saying if he turns the corner and he becomes this role model hustle it out, wins a couple World Series, the documentary would be good during these downtimes.
Yes, it would.
And all the probably the video tapes of him growing up, all the playing Little League games, being flown across the country by himself at the age of 11 because he's getting rented out to a team in Florida from Las Vegas.
I think a documentary on Bryce Harper would sell like gold, whether he turns it around or not, because he in a lot of people's minds he's a despised, spoiled brat.
Yes.
And people would want to sit down and see how spoiled he really was, or
he wasn't.
Well, or that way as well.
Dad woke up in the 3 o'clock in the morning to go do construction so he could be home in time to throw BP when his kid got home from school. You know? But that's neither here nor there. I don't know. Unfortunately, a short documentary, but we're going to have to figure out what's going on with this Trevor Bauer situation, because that guy's an interesting cat. Is there? I mean, the Tiger Woods documentary was good. It was already mentioned on here by Erickson on the Heritage Pub Facebook comment thread. But is there? I don't know if there's a golfer right now that would. No one's that's over the top that you want to see that.
Yeah, that's too much of a small niche of fans that would watch it, but nobody else.
You do have to have that likability. You do have to do the.
I know a documentary that would sell like gold.
What's that?
Hank Carrillo.
Yeah, that's I did. Yeah, I got this.
For anybody that doesn't know Hank Carrillo, he's a Quad Cities legend. He is 85, I think now, and he would shoot me for saying that on the air.
Yep.
But he has played men's fast pitch for 60 years, and he's just a lovable character. I've heard so many stories about him. I was lucky enough to see him and play with him for about 15 years, and the guy is Elvis Presley with a
absolutely
with a knuckleball.
Yep. So in the NBA, it just doesn't seem like there's. I mean, the Kevin Durant one, but he's got a production company, so that would be completely manipulated by him. But it's interesting to see where his mindset is as far as going from team to team. What motivates him?
Curry.
That one. That one would be interesting because you have to go to his days at Davidson and then being drafted late and actually transforming the game to where, I'm growing up, you're growing up, we're watching the slam dunk contest trying to figure out how we can slam the ball. Now you go to back when Golden State was really good, and they will be good again. But you go to like the fitness center, the gyms, and you see kids now shooting 3-pointers instead of trying to go to the hoop. So he did change the game.
Yep.
And I think that would be an interesting part of the documentary. Eventually, I mean, Kawhi Leonard would be interesting as well.
Harden?
Yeah, because he's a goofy character. Kyrie Irving would be another one too, but I think Kyrie Irving's just messing with people. I don't think he really believes the things he says, like when he says he believes in flat earth or whatever. I just think he says those things and he's like, watch his Twitter blow up just to do it and just laugh about it. So... I did, Erickson, as far as golf goes, yes, the John Daly documentary would be good. Brad Hines says that think there'll be a mega Vince McMahon documentary from the WWE after Vince passes away. It's possible.
Those would both be good. John Daly and Vince McMahon.
Yeah, John Daly one would be really good. I would like to actually, now that you mentioned, so John Daly does some weird things. I'd like Charles Barkley.
Oh yeah,
I'd really like that. I want some gambling stories.
He's such a what's the word I'm looking for? Turbulent personality as far as people either love him or hate him.
Yeah, and the thing is he would be brutally honest. If you handed him that iPad, he would be brutally honest about, yeah, I said that. The guy was terrible. He's like, I never said that. That's full of BS. That's what make good about Barkley, and talking about the gambling stories. So I think that would be a lot of fun. All right, let's take our first break of the second hour here at ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle us. We're local. We will be right back. Jimmy Siokas is in studio with me. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
You like that? You like that? Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
This is Josh Sides, head coach, St. Ambrose University Esports. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're
Susan,
local.
it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon, cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill-up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST.
Bring whatever car you have and put it to the test as Cordova International Raceway hosts its Midnight Mayhem this Friday, July 30th. Bring your big farm truck, diesels, any car, and DB Drags will be there with his bump and bass audio. Car and driver just $30. Spectator admission is $10. It's all happening this Friday from 11 p.m. till 2 a.m. at Cordova International Raceway. For more information, please visit racecir.com. Or for the most up-to-date racing info, check them out on Facebook at Race Cordova.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand...
Hey, Crawford guy, go long!
No, I can't!
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike three.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot!
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
It's time to rise and grind. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
I don't know if I want Justin Fields right out of the gate just to be the guy. I would like for him to ease himself into it. But I started finding myself thinking, if he does start right out of the gate, does that buy Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace another year? Don't you? Is it bad that I'm even putting myself in that situation now? I'm thinking about, are you doing what's best for the player, Justin Fields? Are you doing what's best in the interest of Matt Nagy or Ryan Pace to make sure that, hey, we gave our rookie a start, we gave him everything he needed, a quarterback like Andy Dalton who's there to help him out, but it's going to take some time, guys. But we got to be patient.
This isn't Jacksonville. This is a playoff team. I wouldn't mind starting him immediately because they got pieces in place, especially on defense. Offensively, they've gotten better. Allen Robinson is back now. So when you look at it, it's like, if he wins the job, it might make sense to start him.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Beat the heat this summer with these hot deals from Tyson's. Now through August 1st, save on Comfort Zone fans starting at $14.99. Enjoy the outdoors with deals on patio furniture and garden decor now 30% off. Save up to 40% on select spring and summer apparel from great brands including Wrangler, Lee, and Dickies. Don't forget to sign up for Tyson's More Club Rewards and start earning points today. Shop these savings in-store and online now through August 1st. Tyson's, home, farm, auto.
It's time to rise and grind. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
I don't know if I want Justin Fields right out of the gate just to be the guy. I would like for him to ease himself into it. But I started finding myself thinking, if he does start right out of the gate, does that buy Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace another year? Don't you? Is it bad that I'm even putting myself in that situation now? I'm thinking about, are you doing what's best for the player, Justin Fields? Are you doing what's best in the interest of Matt Nagy or Ryan Pace to make sure that, hey, we gave our rookie a start, we gave him everything he needed, a quarterback like Andy Dalton who's there to help him out, but it's going to take some time, guys. But we got to be patient.
This isn't Jacksonville. This is a playoff team. I wouldn't mind starting him immediately because they got pieces in place, especially on defense. Offensively, they've gotten better. Allen Robinson is back now. So when you look at it, it's like, if he wins the job, it might make sense to start him.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Make this summer the start of your new career with Williams White & Company. A division of Dorfer Companies, Williams White is North America's premier hydraulic press and industrial rotary dryer manufacturer. They're looking for enthusiastic individuals to join their Moline team. Williams White offers competitive benefits and even a sign-on bonus. Visit them at 600 River Drive, Moline, for on-site walk-in interviews Thursday and Friday, August 5th and 6th from 8 to 5, or apply online at williamswhite.com.
Unfiltered. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
Does Aaron Rodgers get moved before the season starts?
The two teams in the AFC for me would be the Raiders. And I know they got Carr, but you send Carr back to Green Bay. I know John Gruden he's probably sitting there just trying to figure out how to get that done because he's never satisfied the quarterback spot. And
Never.
Think about it. He tried to get Brett Favre when Brett was 60. So, I mean...
But if you think about it, though, as far as location goes for Aaron Rodgers,
he was Vegas.
Vegas would be, Vegas would be optimal. Obviously, Bay Area, where he's from, like that would have really been.
That's why he was
better
really
for
pushing.
Him. Yeah.
He was really pushing for that San Francisco opportunity because they had a winning team. And the Raiders, maybe he is a guy who can kick them over the top. But those are the two teams in the AFC that make sense.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170. From the Vegas Gaming Cafe, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBLB Davenport, a Town Square media station.
All right, we're back here, ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle us for local. Tuesday, July 27, 2021. Real quick, again, just take a look at some of the games tonight, starting at 6:05, all-night games. Miami goes to the Baltimore Orioles. Washington Nationals and the Phillies, 6:05. Brewers and the Pirates. Brett Anderson versus Tyler Anderson. Both left-handed pitchers. Both sporting around a 4.3 ERA. Look at that. Think they know each other? Brett and Tyler Anderson?
Absolutely.
Sure. Toronto goes to Boston. That's 6 tonight. St. Louis, Adam Wainwright on the mound. 7-6 on the year, 3.56 ERA. They will be at Cleveland, 6:10 first pitch. The Braves and the Mets will be going tonight. Yankees and the Rays in the divisional game. Cincinnati and the Cubs. Ozole on the mound for the Cubs there. 4-10 on the year, 4.58 ERA. Diamondbacks and the Rangers. White Sox go to Kansas City Royals. Dylan Cease throwing for the White Sox, 7-6 on the year, 4.21 ERA. Brad Keller, 7-9, 5.84. Detroit and Minnesota. 7:10. Colorado at the Angels. Dodgers and the Giants tonight. Padres host the Oakland A's. And Seattle hosts Houston as well. Read something earlier that, according to the numbers, I believe I have my right notes in front of me, that as of right now, through yesterday, no major league teams are currently projected to win 100 games per 538. It's interesting. If these projections hold, this will be the first full 162-game season since 2014 without any 100-win teams. This is on the heels of the top-heavy 2019, which had 4 100-win teams for the first time in Major League Baseball history. That was the Houston Astros, the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Twins. Here we go. Right now, the Dodgers projected to win 98 games, the Astros 97, the Giants 95. The Rays also 95, the Red Sox 95, White Sox 94, Brewers 92, Padres 92. Like I said, that's per the data from 538. You had a question for me? Jimmy?
Well, since we're on baseball here.
Sure.
You know, the greatest team with the most wins ever was the Chicago Cubs, 1906.
I remember well.
You know, the Mariners tied it with 114, I think it was the amount of wins.
Okay.
But the winning percentage, I think the Cubbies had almost a 750 winning percentage that year.
Okay.
They won 3 out of 4 ball games.
Against the Cleveland Spiders.
Well, probably. 1906, we talked about that last year.
Yeah. So, but was that the swimming question?
No, the swimming question. We were talking about swimming. You know, Michael Phelps.
Yes.
Do you consider yourself to be a strong swimmer?
I consider myself to be a strong swimmer, yes.
Okay, so Michael Phelps in his prime was clocked at 6 miles per hour
Mm-hmm.
in the pool. That doesn't sound like much, but his top speed was 6 miles per hour in a full-out front stroke swim.
Okay.
That's what does an average person walk? 3, 4 miles per hour maybe? A jog is 6 miles per hour maybe?
Okay.
So
yeah.
it's pretty fast.
That's pretty fast.
We live here on the mighty Mississippi.
Sure.
If somebody were to take you right now to the shore down by the band shell and say, here's $10,000 in cash, no life jacket. If you die, you die. If you make it across, you get to keep it. Do you think you could swim across the Mississippi River?
Say that. Give me that question one more time.
Somebody takes you right now to the band shell down by the Mississippi River side of Iowa.
Okay.
Says you get no life jacket.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If you make it across the river, you get to keep the $10,000. Otherwise, you could die. You could drown. Would you take that bet? You think you could swim across the Mississippi River?
No.
You wouldn't do it. What if it was like $1 million? Would you try it?
Well, hold on. Am I going solo mission or no?
Any stroke you want. You got to make it from the Iowa side to the Illinois side, and understanding the current. By the time you started swimming on the Iowa side, you probably end up a mile downstream by the time you got to the Illinois side.
Yeah.
But just the fear of doing that. I mean, I've lived here my whole life. I've always kind of been a little timid. I've never gotten in the Mississippi River. You know, obviously I hear just kind of dirty water, but just does the average human ability to swim allow them, if they had the courage, to make it across the Mississippi River? Or is that almost certain death because you're going to get pulled under? You hear all these stories as a kid, oh, the current will pull you under.
Yeah. I've been in the Mississippi. When I was younger, down in, was it Buffalo Island, they call Princeton Beach or something? There's an island that's so far off the beach, so far away. I don't know how many yards.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'd say at most it's 100 yards.
Sounds about right.
About a football field.
So I swam that.
No problem?
But I did have one of those inflatable rafts that you blow up.
That doesn't count. That gives you that, you don't have a sense of urgency then. You know, you can always stop and chill.
But when you're 16, there's not a lot of sense of urgency. You think you're bulletproof. And there's no, trust me, at 16, I wasn't... it wasn't alcohol courage at all either. I was just like, yeah, let's do this. Me and a buddy were like, let's hold on to it. Looking back on it now, I'm like, we're idiots.
Mm-hmm.
Like you shouldn't be in the river doing that far off out there. But you do a lot of dumb stuff when you're 16.
Yes, you do.
I don't know if I would take that for 10,000. I think we'd have to up it a little bit more. Maybe, yeah. I really don't know. I don't think you have very many times where people are like, oh yeah, I've swam the Mississippi. That'd be crazy, right?
I would never do it because I think I would die. I think I'd drown. I mean, I'm a decent swimmer.
Before you would even get even close to that, DNR would pick you up.
Well, no. I mean, everybody's in on it, so nobody's going to come rescue you.
They're going to come watch you die?
Yes.
Everyone's just going to be on the bridge just stare like, I'm going to watch this guy drown.
You'd have the whole Centennial Bridge just crowded. Everybody's cheering.
Yeah, it's
like Mad Max. One man enter, no man leave.
Now, I do have a question for you. Is it closer in the Davenport to Rock Island side than the Bettendorf to Moline of the river?
I have no idea.
I feel like it is.
I'm sure there's wider and narrower parts all the way along the Quad Cities. I don't know which part's the narrowest. Probably where Arsenal Island is.
Huh?
Probably where Arsenal Island is. You know, Arsenal Island in the middle of the Mississippi River?
Yeah.
That seems to get kind of narrow there. Especially where
that seems further away than it does Bettendorf Rock Island. Erickson just found a thing of a guy from the Smithsonian magazine, SmithsonianMag.com, the man who swam the full length of the Mississippi from Minnesota to New Orleans.
He just swam all downstream?
I guess, yeah.
I wonder how long that took him.
I'll let you know in a second. I just clicked on the link. As Erickson sent this to us. But I don't want to. I consider myself a strong swimmer, but that's not going to be crazy. That's not. Guy's from. Why do I feel like I've seen this before? From Clinton, Oklahoma. Come on. July 6, 1930, Fred Newton waded into the Mississippi River in Minneapolis and started swimming. He told reporters he planned to reach New Orleans in 90 days. He was 27 years old. He aimed to be the first person to swim the river's length, hoping the exploit would bring wealth and fame. His younger brother Byron followed in a rowboat, carrying supplies and taking notes to document Fred's journey. On the second day, Newton encountered floating mats of manure and stinking animal parts dumped off at the stockyards of South St. Paul. But he kept swimming even amid the upper Mississippi's treacherous whirlpools. Along the way, Newton stopped in riverside towns, and sometimes he painted signs for local businesses in exchange for meals or a bed. It goes on, but this is, I guess, let's see, how long did it take him? It looks like, so he reached New Orleans in December 29th. So he did it in 90 days, yeah. And he earned him a world record, but it didn't bring him riches. He went on to make a living as an insurance salesman and later founded a company that sold orthopedic products. All right.
That's a stallion right there.
Yeah.
That's, wow.
1930. Why are you thinking during the Depression that's going to give you wealth and fame?
I think during the Depression, there was the old saying, an idle mind is a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
You had a lot of people sitting around with nothing to do, no jobs to be had, so they started, you see it all the time. People who don't have aspirations or things that they're looking forward to as far as career goals or, your daily job, you start doing stupid things. So I think you saw a lot of people in the 30s that didn't think they had anything to lose. Hey, let's roll the dice. Where if the Depression wasn't going on and they had a secure job and they had enough money to live comfortably, they wouldn't roll the dice like that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
That Mississippi, that's not like swimming the English Channel.
Mm-mm.
It's a lot further.
No.
I wonder what his longest, he's swimming downstream. That helps him, obviously. I wonder what his longest stint was without stopping. Like, did he go 10 miles without stopping one day? Did he go more than that?
I don't know. Said that, obviously it was cold sometimes because he was in December. He would wear wool underwear and slather himself in axle grease for insulation. What a weirdo. All right.
I could see Chip doing that.
I don't think I could see Chip doing that. All right, so the softball got silver today. Are you excited to watch Olympic baseball?
If it's on television, I'll watch it. I'm not going to jump through all the hoops I had to for this morning's game with
there you go,
downloading the app.
Mm-hmm.
How are they doing that this year? Is there
There'll be 6 teams divided into two pools for group stage play. That's going to start tomorrow. Each team plays with the other teams in its group. So in Group A, it's Japan, Mexico, and Dominican Republic. In Group B, it's the United States, South Korea, and Israel. So after they play round robin, so the United States will play South Korea and Israel, the teams then feed into a double elimination bracket of sorts with the 2 third-place teams first facing each other in an elimination game, obviously, and then they go from there. The gold medal game will be played August 7th at Yokohama Stadium in front of empty stands. And
will you watch it? And what's the rules on that? I mean, they can have anybody play, ex-professional, ex-big leaguer, or amateur, anybody they want?
If you're on a roster, they can hold you back. The Major League Baseball can say, no, we're not going to have you.
But, take somebody like a Bartolo Colon.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I found out that Bartolo Colon is still playing baseball. Did you know
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I did.
And you know who else is still playing for the Sydney Blue Sox in Australia? Manny Ramirez.
Oh, I didn't know he was still playing.
Yeah, he's 48 years old. He's still playing ball. I'm surprised those 2 guys didn't go play in the Olympics for somebody.
Here's some of the guys on the team. Mike Socha would be the manager. There's veterans like Todd Frazier, Scott Kazmir, Edwin Jackson, and David Robertson. There's some prospects on there. Oakland A's shortstop Nick Allen, Boston Red Sox first baseman Tristan Casas, Toronto Blue Jays pitcher Simeon Woods Richardson, Tampa Bay pitcher Shane Baz, and new Minnesota Twins pitcher Joe Ryan, who just came over in the Nelson Cruz trade. Frazier basically is considered the team captain, but Kazmir, was right up there with him. Both had they did appear in the majors this season. The best hitter on the team is considered to be Tyler Austin, who spent parts of 4 seasons in the majors from 2016 to 2019. He's been one of the top sluggers in Japan's Central League, hitting .314 with 19 home runs. And then you've got the co-flag bearer who was with Katie Ledecky, Eddie Alvarez. He was one of the he won the silver medal at the 2014 Winter Olympics as part of the 5,000 meter short track speed skating relay team. He appeared in 12 games for the Marlins last season and will become the rare athlete to compete in both the Winter and Summer Olympics. Japan is the favorite to win this. U.S. certainly has a chance. I think they have the second best odds.
So if you're playing in a Japanese league professionally, they let you go? They let you play in the Olympics?
Let's see. Yeah. Their number one pitcher for Japan, Masahiro Tanaka. He returned to Japan this season and is pitching for Rakuten. He's posted a 2.86 ERA in 13 starts. But he might not be the ace of the staff. The other guy that's on there is he has a 1.79 ERA. Koyo, I'm just gonna butcher this, but these guys are in the Pacific League. Masataka Yoshida is the hitter to watch. He leads the Pacific League with a 3.43 average, 46 walks, and just 29 strikeouts. Yeah, so their guys are playing. And then Mexico has players on their team like Adrian Gonzalez.
That's cool.
Yeah, Oliver Perez. And some other guys that have had stints here and there.
Did Adrian Gonzalez get busted for roids? I forget.
No, I don't believe so.
Cuba does not have a team, correct?
Jose Batista is playing on Dominican Republic. They're not in here, no.
Now, has Cuba had teams in the past?
I believe so, yeah.
I wonder why they're not doing it.
I don't know. One of the top prospects for the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez, will play for the Dominican Republic. They let him play. Melky Cabrera, names we know that.
Why doesn't Manny Ramirez play for him?
I don't know.
He's Dominican, right?
Yep, they don't have, and Dominican doesn't have a lot of pitching prospects in here at all. So,
was Bartolo Colon Dominican, or was he?
I don't know. Here's some things to be paying attention to. Some of the interesting aspects of the Olympic tournament will be a clock and pace of play guidelines. All right, so a 20-second pitch clock is utilized when no runners are on base. Pitchers get one warning and then penalized with a ball rewarded to the batter. Batters, meanwhile, must keep 1 foot in the batter's box between pitches. There's a 30-second clock for coaches or managers' visits to the pitcher's mound and a 90-second clock for pitching changes between innings. I'm actually going to be watching because of that more.
It is interesting.
I want to see that.
We got on that tangent yesterday about speeding up the game.
But I want to see that. Keep the 1 foot in the box, 20-second pitch clock when no runners are on base, and 30-second clock for coaches or managers' visits to the pitching mound. But what happens if they go over the 30 seconds, though? So the batter do they get one warning if they take the foot out of the box, and the next time then it's a strike, automatic strike?
That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense to me as well. Yeah, I'll pay attention to it. So that's going to start tomorrow. I don't even know the times for that when that's going to start, but if I were you, I wouldn't go through the whole. You knew that was going to be done in like 2 hours. You're just going to have to do a hassle for 2 hours and re-download the apps, but I wouldn't do that for all that. Hopefully, it looks as though, like, let's see, the only other thing that the South Korea team, is there anyone there? Because they're in United States pool. I don't know if there's anyone too much there in there, whatever that's going to...
I'll tell you it'd be fun to do in the Olympics.
What's that?
Just a hypothetical thing here.
Sure.
And they're going to take the gold medal baseball team, whoever wins gold,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to bring back the Japanese girls fast pitch team that won gold, and they're going to let these hitters, these baseball hitters, they don't have to worry about pitching or playing the field, but they're going to let them get three plate appearances in a row, 1 through 9, 1 through 9, 1 through 9,
okay,
against that Japanese girl throwing 75 from 43 feet away. And just see if any of those high-level baseball players would touch it. What do you think?
I think it's easier said than done, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think
the third time through. We're talking high-level hand-eye coordination. These guys, you don't become an Olympic baseball player by not knowing how to adjust. Obviously, they're going to be using lighter bats, 26, 27-ounce aluminum fast pitch bats.
Mm-hmm.
I played both, and when I started playing fast pitch, once I had the time to adapt and figure out how to chop the fat off my swing, I think it's easier. I think it's actually easier to make contact in fast pitch because the bat's lighter, the ball is bigger, there's less room for movement. Yeah, you got to rise and you got to drop, but you go back to baseball, and that ball looks like a BB. like a little aspirin after you played fast pitch, and it's moving a foot or two left or right, I think it's easier to make contact in fast pitch. I think it's easier to get a base hit in baseball. Does that make any sense? Because when you do make contact with the ball in baseball, you have so much green out there for that thing to fall
that
in.
makes sense. Yep.
It's easier to make contact in fast pitch. It's harder to get a base hit in fast pitch, if that makes sense.
No, I see what you're saying there. It is official. The Russian Olympic Committee won the team gold in gymnastics. No more dominance for the United States. Boo.
All because of poor Simone.
Yep.
I wonder what she injured.
You know what? That's going to be some weird speculation for a while because they did not specify the nature of her medical issue. Just saying in a statement, she will be assessed daily to determine medical clearance for future competitions. So basically,
you think the Russian mafia got to her?
She attempted during the first rotation of the team competition during the vault. She attempted an Amanar vault, only to roll out of it upon landing. The code for that vault posted when she saluted the judges, but in midair things went awry. The vault requires a round off back handspring onto the table, followed by 2.5 twists. Biles instead just did 1.5 twists with a big leap forward after landing. She sat down and talked to U.S. team doctor Marcia Faustin, then headed back while her teammates moved on to the uneven bars. When she returned 7 minutes later, she hugged her teammates and took off the bar grips, and just like that, her night was over. So, again, like I said, they didn't...
How old is Simone?
You know, I could look it up, but
This isn't her last Olympics.
No, I don't think so. But she is... I mean, she's good, but...
And she's an Iowa girl.
No, she's not.
She's not? I thought she was from the same place that... What was the other Iowa gymnast? Shawn Johnson?
Oh, maybe. Is she? No, we would know more than that. Now you got me going.
All
I
right.
don't want to be on... Yeah, you can look that up. You can look that up while we go to break here. Don't Hassle Us Local, ESPN, 1170 a.m. We will be right back in just a few... Where am I at here? Man, I really got to set this up ahead of time. Just a few minutes.
You like that? You like that? Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Randall, the QC hot dog guy. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
Every kid has potential, regardless of their circumstances. On August 21st, more than 100 people will be rappelling down 11 stories of the Hotel Blackhawk to support children in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. Each edger has a goal of raising a minimum of $1,000, and you can help them achieve it. Support kids in the QCA. Go to overtheedgeqc.org and donate to any edger. That's overtheedgeqc.org. Presented by Active Endeavors.
Attention business owners. If your biggest question is, how can I find more customers? Then Town Square can help. Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free competitive analysis that will show you how the most successful businesses grow and how you can do it too. These strategies are simple, and we can show you how to apply them to your business. Be one of the first businesses to sign up, and you'll receive $500 in free advertising on this radio station. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking new users up with an epic Olympic bonus. Just place your first bet of at least $10 on any Olympic sport and get a $100 bonus. Bet at least $20 and you'll get a $200 bonus. That's a bonus of up to $200 regardless of the outcome of the bet. To get you started, here are my Olympic picks. Simone Biles to win the women's vault and the USA men's basketball team to win it all. Remember, you'll get the bonus on any Olympic event. Baseball, soccer, track and field, and more when you place your first bet of $10 or more between July 19th and July 27th. Promotions like this are just one of the reasons why I love betting America's #1 sports book. Easy to use, safe and secure, fast payouts. Get paid in as little as 24 hours. So download the FanDuel Sportsbook app with promo code Trevor and go for the gold today. That's promo code Trevor. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. Minimum bet $10. Max bonus $200. Bonus issued as a non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 4 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Your schedule is busy, so when you have an air conditioning, plumbing, or appliance problem, you want to call someone you can trust to give you an honest, no-hassle assessment of your situation. TMI's technicians will show up on time and will work tirelessly to fix the problem right the first time. And if you need a new air conditioner installed, there are great manufacturer and utility rebates available so you can still save big money. For courteous, on-time service fixed right, call the professionals at TMI today.
Pointing you in the right direction.
Your legacy is important. Preparing your final wishes is a lasting gift to family and friends. Lock in and guarantee today's prices while alleviating the burden on your loved ones. Whelan Presley's pre-arrangement policies are guaranteed to be there when needed. You can even begin the pre-arranging process from home. Log on to WhelanPresley.com or contact us to get started. Trusted over 130 years, Whelan Presley Funeral Home and Crematory.
We would be honored and privileged to serve you.
I'm Omar Reese with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. One of the top remaining free agents has found a new home. The Steelers are signing former Chargers Pro Bowl defensive end Melvin Ingram to a one-year deal. Ingram struggled with injuries in 2020, but averaged 9 sacks a year the previous 5 seasons. Another Pro Bowl defensive lineman could also be on the move. Former Bengal Geno Atkins is now recovered from a torn rotator cuff and will begin taking free agent visits. Meantime, Vikings defensive tackle Michael Pierce injured his calf and could miss the start of training camp. Giants running back Saquon Barkley said Monday his surgically repaired knee is feeling good, so will he be on the field when camp begins next week?
No, I don't have an answer, to be honest. Just got to continue to listen to my body, listen to the trainers, listen to the coaches, just take it day by day.
Is it at least safe to say, day one, you're not going to be able to go full go, right?
I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll see, right?
This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
When you're ready to buy something, the first thing you do is go online. But buying a home is different. You've got loan applications, pre-approvals, competing offers, the list goes on. That's where a Realtor comes in. Realtors have expertise and local knowledge to give you a competitive edge that a search bar just can't. And in today's market, an edge is what you need. So when you're ready to buy a home, the first thing to do is make sure you have an agent who's a Realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
I need tech that can make me as productive in my home office as I am at my office. It's possible with Staples Connect.
How about tech that will help me focus on my work and my workouts?
Also possible. Staples Connect has all the tech you need to work and learn from home. And now Apple AirPods Pro are only $179. That's $70 off. Explore what's new at your local Staples store or at staplesconnect.com. Staples Connect, the working and learning store. N731 Limit 2 in-store only.
Follow us on Facebook at ESPN 1170 AM. We are the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Wrapping up the show here, the second hour. Don't Hassle Your Local, ESPN 1170 AM. Just 4 days away from the trade deadline. It's going to be interesting to see what happens coming up here. Who's the buyers, who's the sellers. There's been talk that Red Sox have been interested in Rizzo from the Cubs.
That makes sense. I mean, they had him originally, didn't they?
Yeah, they sure did. That's just something that was there. All right, so you asked, and what was...
By the way, is that Simone girl?
Yeah.
What's her last name? I forget.
Biles?
Simone Biles. She's from Columbus, Ohio.
Okay. What, do you have any, I don't know, as far as movies go outside of Star Wars, do you have any idea what some of the best Olympic movies are?
The only one that comes to mind is it called Miracle?
Yep, that's Miracle.
With the
that's definitely
1980 hockey team?
That's definitely up there as one of the best ones.
I have never seen that movie, though.
You've never seen Miracle?
No. Nope. I'm not a big hockey fan. I just call it frozen soccer. That's all it is.
I understand that. I'm not a big hockey guy either, whatever else. But the movie, I mean, come on. You're in the middle of the Cold War, and you beat the Russians in the semifinals, whatever else. Do you believe in miracles?
I was there. I saw it on TV. I was 8.
It was not live. I guarantee. I know that for a fact. That was not live.
Do you believe in miracles?
I do.
Yes.
Yes, when he calls that.
That was one of the most goosebump-inducing radio calls, though, of any sport.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So, but other than Miracle, what other movies are there about the Olympics? Help me out.
Okay. Well, I'll give you a few. Axios Sports just kind of started a top 5, and they did their they're releasing it every day this week. Yesterday they did their number 5 of all time, and it was Foxcatcher. Do you know what Foxcatcher is?
Never heard of it.
Well, it came out.
Wasn't that your motto when you were in college and you went out to clubs?
Sure. Yeah. Foxcatcher came out in 2014. It was about Mark and David Schultz, but also about DuPont, who was the guy. He ended up shooting David Schultz. It's a really messed up story. It's about wrestling, so wrestlers all watch it, whatever else. I remember I actually met David Schultz when I was 11. It's not a movie I watched a second time. I remember it well watching it. The opening scene of it is like, I'm not going to waste too much time on just this movie, but
is it better than Vision Quest?
It's not better than Vision Quest, but Vision Quest doesn't make any sense at all.
Mm-hmm.
This is a true story, so I guess people are probably rolling over. The wrestling fans are like, are you kidding me? It's better than Vision Quest. It's not as entertaining as Vision Quest. Vision Quest makes zero sense to me, a lot of times.
If you're a wrestler, to me it made sense. I don't understand wrestling very, very much, but it was a great movie, I thought. Vision Quest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he drops weight, he wrestles the bigger guy, he wins.
Yeah, he drops weight on the guy that he clearly does not weigh as much as the other one, but that's all right. There's also some other flaws in there, like how she ends up in like Washington and when she's on her car breaks down in Washington when she's on her way to California.
Mm-hmm.
Geographically, that doesn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a car broke down. You're hundreds of miles away from your destination. You took a wrong turn.
Maybe she was a Mariners fan. She just wanted to take in a game before she went to...
Anyway, back to Foxcatcher. It starts off with Mark and David Schultz. They start wrestling, and when they're wrestling, it really sounds like when you have, when you see like National Geographic videos of like apes or chimpanzees picking flies off each other and grunting.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like, to the point where my wife looked over at me and goes, "Is that what wrestling practice is like?" And I was like, No, it's not. That's not it at all. But it is a good movie. I don't know if it's top 5. Other ones out there, I, Tonya, another winner one, obviously about Tonya Harding thing. Yeah.
Never heard of that one either.
You ever heard of Chariots of Fire?
Oh, yeah. That was best movie in 1981.
That's right. Yep, it won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and it got it over Raiders of the Lost Ark, though. I don't think it should have got over Raiders of the Lost Ark. Sorry.
Me neither.
It got Best Score as well. So it's the real life stories of 2 British runners. Maybe that's why I didn't watch it. That's Chariots of Fire. Let's see, Cool Runnings.
Yes, I've heard of that. I've seen that too.
Yeah.
About the Jamaican bobsled team.
There you go. Yeah.
I know a movie I just thought of.
What's that?
Wasn't there one about the 76 Olympics, the hostage crisis?
Munich, yep.
Munich. That's
right.
not really about the Olympics.
It's the Olympics. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
I've seen that movie too. That was pretty good.
I've seen this. I don't know when, but I know I've seen this. This movie's from 1951. Jim Thorpe, All-American. He's do you know a lot about Jim Thorpe?
My grandfather
Mm-hmm.
told me he saw Jim Thorpe play at Douglas Park for the Rock Island Independence.
That's right.
That's pretty cool.
That's right. Yeah, he he won let's see, how many medals did he win at the 1912 Summer Olympics Stockholm, and later they were stripped his medals because he had played a little bit for
like a semi-pro baseball team or something. I also heard the story about Jim Thorpe that when he got there, he couldn't find his shoes, and he had to wear another person's, like 2 different shoes from 2 different people.
Yeah.
And he was at a big disadvantage. He still won. So he's a pretty amazing athlete. I've heard people say he's the greatest athlete, all-around athlete.
Well,
and then you got Bo Jackson, of course.
I've told the story. So you remember at the Sports Century, at the turn of the century in '99, they were ESPN during the summertime. They were releasing like the top 50 greatest athletes of the century. So every week, so it wouldn't just be summertime, but I just remember it more during then. And it ended up being Michael Jordan
as the greatest athlete
of the century.
He's obviously the greatest basketball player. Is he the greatest all-around athlete? I think Bo Jackson would run circles around Jordan.
What? Oh, I listen. I'll argue with anybody that Bo Jackson was the greatest athlete I ever saw. There's no doubt about it. So, but I'm trying to figure out who was
Jim Thorpe had to be in that list.
I think. Yeah. So okay, I'm just gonna go straight to the.
What about Neon Deion Sanders? Was he in there?
Hold on. I want to get the list.
Neon Deion's the only guy to play.
Babe Ruth was 2. Ali was 3. Jim Brown was 4. Wayne Gretzky was 5. By the way, Jim Brown should be high. Jim Brown is on. He was All-American in lacrosse too, as well, at Syracuse. Jesse Owens is 6. Jim Thorpe 7. Willie Mays 8. Jack Nicklaus 9. Babe Zaharis 10. Deserves to be much higher. Babe Zaharis.
You're talking about the best at their individual sports. You're going to tell me Jack Nicholson?
Nicholas.
I'm sorry, Jack Nicklaus is up there with Jim Brown as far as being an athlete.
I was never a fan of this list. I'll go all the way to the 30s and tell you why I'm not a fan of this list. At 39 was Walter Payton. At 35 was Secretariat.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not gonna greatest athlete. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna have a horse be on this list.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't like it.
It ruins it. Yeah.
So I do know that when this happened in the when they did a similar thing in the 1950s about the first half of the century, and I believe Jim Thorpe was 1 and Babe Ruth was 2. Because that was my controversy with this. Because back then, I mean, it's not like you went deep dives on the internet in '99. It's only about 5 years old, if not maybe 6, 7. But I do remember this list came out, and I was just like, how did Babe Ruth jump Jim Thorpe? Like, it doesn't make any sense. You know, like, if the sports writers then did a list at the half point in the century, how did he jump him? He didn't accomplish anything after 1950. It's strange. So, but I think that's it for movies. But yeah, I don't care for Nicholas being up there either. Like I said, Ali was a heck of an athlete. Jim Brown was incredible. Wayne Gretzky revolutionized the NHL.
Did you see the movie
Jesse Owens
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes, I did.
I thought that was a pretty exciting, fun movie to watch. I love the part with Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Now, real life, no rules, but there is a confined area like a ring or a cage.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
We're going to say that there's no time limit, there's no rounds. The bell rings and you go till somebody gets knocked out.
Sure.
Who wins, Ali or Bruce Lee?
Ooh. That's a good question. I think Ali lets him win.
Lets him win?
It's an exhibition.
No, it's not. I mean,
if it's an exhibition,
we're going to say there's like $1 million on the line.
He did boxing versus wrestling, Antonio Inoki, and he let Antonio Inoki beat him in an exhibition.
I don't want to hear anybody letting people. I want to see skill-wise. I think Ali has the size, the weight, and the reach, and he has the punching power.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Bruce Lee could get in on him enough to do his, charlatan tricks and antics. Yeah. So I'd have to put my money on Ali.
I'm fine with that. I'm just saying I think he might, because of exhibition purposes, he'd let him win.
Who wins in their prime, Ali or Mike Tyson?
It's Tyson.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that because, if once Tyson got inside on him, it's over with his punching power. But Ali was such a dancer. And if you looked at Tyson's track record, if he didn't knock you out in the first couple rounds, he was at a disadvantage.
It's true.
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to it.
One more movie to throw at you before we wrap up. You can watch either one. I suggest Prefontaine, but there's in 1997, 1998, back-to-back years, there was two Steve Prefontaine movies. There was a 97 Disney-backed Prefontaine and the 1998 Warner Brothers version Without Limits. Steve Prefontaine ran track at Oregon. He was going to be at the race in Munich, and things got messed up. But he
was one of the hostages.
No, I think he had to go home. I believe he had to go home because of it, whatever else. But he ended up dying in a car accident. Spoiler. But while he was preparing for the 76 Montreal Olympic Games. But it's a good movie. The guys, when he comes down to athletes, the guy was like, went against the grain of everything. And I like the movies. I remember when they came out. So those are some more Olympic movies. All right, Jimmy. We'll see you tomorrow, noon.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy. Enjoy yourselves, Quad City. Stay safe and sanitized. Stay cool. We will see you tomorrow.
God bless.
From the Vegas Gaming Cafe, this is the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBLB Davenport, a Town Square media station.